to use your voice to make the pussy noise. What do I mean by that? Well, the reality is, most men nowadays walk around very timidly.
Where did this video come from, man?
Voice to make, it's the easiest way to do that. Alright, so let's talk about how, say, you're a king of your country, you're a king of the world, right? When you walk into a room, you're commanding it, you talk to someone, you're using your voice to make a point, right? You see how I'm pausing. So a lot of people will be like, well, I don't have a naturally deep voice, like, I don't sound like you. That's fine.
Okay, I was watching a video, and this video auto-played as like part of the compilation. I guess different strokes for different folks, different advice works for different people. Many times people have asked me, I like the way you talk, I like the way you speak. How do you speak like that? You need to pause. You need to pause. And you need to command the room like an alpha male. You need to get a six-pack. 12% body fat. Wait, there's something that he said here.
To use your voice to make the pussy noise. What do I mean by that? Well, the reality is, most men nowadays walk around very timidly.
Where did this video come from, man?
Voice to make, it's the easiest way to do that. Alright, so let's talk about how to use your voice to make the pussy noise. The reality is, most men nowadays walk around very timidly, they're very soft with their voice, command the room. So here's an example. Let's say at Starbucks, and you're gonna get you a cappuccino, right? Maybe you drink soy lattes, whatever. But when you order, a lot of people are timid, like, oh, I have the,
I respect it. I respect any person that is helping people communicate, teach people. Life is about helping people have an easier life, have a better life. Some guys, some people, they need help speaking. They have social anxiety. Some people, in today's day and age, a lot of people are just nervous wrecks, aren't they? The level of human interaction has really gone down, which is extremely unfortunate, as that's what makes life joyful. So, how to be an alpha male, how to talk like a boss. Welcome to Spiritual Boss Radio Vlog Impromptu Lesson while I'm eating my spring roll in Vietnam before I fly back to America to see my family and eat spring rolls in person. How exciting, spring rolls again. How exciting, how exciting. So you gotta pause. And you gotta use your voice to make the pussy moist. Man. The amount of stuff that's on the internet that is like, there's a guy I'm a big fan of, or I support him a lot. I mess with him. His name is Mike Rashid. He says, the internet is undefeated. And Mike Rashid said that, or one of those big fitness guys. The internet is undefeated. No matter how much information that you can give, that might have some sustenance to it, that might have some value to it, there is 10,000 other units of information that is going to be pure brain rot. So if you find some channel, you find some information, if you find some things that are actually valuable to you, you should support that person or like it and share it, because there's something for everybody. But most stuff is not for you. To become an alpha male, to become speak better, it's really, do you have something important to say? Some people talk just to talk, and some people can't talk because they're scared of being judged on what they're saying. I find personally, if I truly believe in what I say, then I'll say it. I might believe in something stupid, but in that moment, if I truly believe it, then it comes out right. But if I don't believe it in the truth in myself, and I start to say it, then it sounds absolutely asinine. And another thing that comes with talking, contrary to popular belief, just because I have a podcast, just because you see me talk a lot, actually, most of my days I spend with a quiet mouth. The people that know me in person, they would vouch for me. Or the strangers that I meet outside, they would go, I've never heard this guy talk other than saying hi and bye. So you don't have something important to say, don't say it. You don't need to talk just to talk. Just speak your truth in the moment if you truly believe something. Don't just sit there and think, oh man, should I say this? Should I not say this? Life is lived outside of your brain. Sometimes we overthink. Sometimes we overthink. We are selfish. We're selfish in the way we think, and that what we say is going to be so detrimental or so like huge that we actually hold ourselves back. I learned this from a guy. His name was Elmer. I was in one of his classes a while ago. A year ago. And he told me something. He said, Jay, you're just being selfish when you think about yourself a lot. I was like, huh. It's like, wow, son of a gun. Sometimes you just need some people to reframe certain things. Sometimes you need to use your voice to make the pussy moist.
Number 3, right? And if someone doesn't hear them, they just kind of sit back and let it be. Instead of commanding the person who's working attention, right? So if I were to walk up and order a soy latte, I would walk up, like, excuse me, I'll take a number 3, right? You're commanding their attention. You're commanding what you want. So they just want to command attention, right? If a king walks in a room, do you think he's 7? So you have to think, this whole course, the whole point is you have to start considering yourself a king, right? You're a king of your domain. You're a king of your state. You're a king of your country. You're a king of the world, right? When you walk into a room, you're commanding it. When you talk to someone, you're using your voice to make a point, right? You see how I'm pausing. So a lot of people will be like, well, I don't have a naturally deep voice. Like, the whole point is you have to start considering you're commanding what you want. So they just want to command attention, right? If a king walks in a room, do you think he's 7? So you have to think, this whole course, the whole point is you have to start considering yourself a king, right? You're a king of your domain. You're a king of your state. You're a king of your country.
Okay. I would like to bounce off of that because I understand what this guy is saying. And that's fantastic advice. But let's go a little deeper. Because if you tell someone, look, you're a king, go ahead and speak the way that you want to speak. Command the room. It's very, very tough and it's very, very difficult if you already have trouble talking. To instantly just look at yourself and go, I am a king now. I'm going to say whatever I want. I'm going to command the room. Right? You might be some person ridden with social anxiety. It's much deeper. That's very similar to saying, just be yourself. I guess how I said it as well. Trust in yourself. We have to go a little deeper, right? This is Spiritual Boss Radio, Spiritual Boss Global. Welcome to the void. Do you see what the void looks like? It is an empty room. It's very quiet in here. It's peaceful. It's fantastic. Nobody says anything but me. If I were to say, look, you need to, what did this guy say? Other than use your voice to make the pussy moist. Oh, what the hell was that? Golly.
Walks in a room, do you think he's 7? So you have to think, this whole course, the whole point is you have to start considering yourself a king, right? You're a king of your domain. You're a king of your state. You're a king of your country.
All right. So it's easy to say that. But say right now, your life is not ideal. Life has been very unfair to you. You're sunken into depression. You just got out of a divorce, breakup. You just had a spiritual awakening. Everything's falling away. Cool. It happens. How do you begin to see yourself as a king or a queen or as a boss, right? This is Spiritual Boss Radio, Spiritual Boss Global. These are the type of things we talk about. How do you actually do that? It's easy to say. Just get over it. Just be a king. Just be confident. No, you need to learn how to do these things. You need to learn how to actually be confident. You need to learn. You need to build yourself. Forge yourself. Man is shaper and maker of his own reality and his own destiny. You have to be able to do these things. You have to live it. You can't just stand up and say, just be confident. I don't know who that works on. Have you ever actually been able to take that advice? Just go out there and do it. No, if you really want to be a king, if you really want to be a boss, something I've dedicated pretty much my whole life to, I can teach you a little bit about that. With no clear path, I've pretty much taken full control over my life. Did it cost a lot? Yeah, it costed everything. It costed all my friends. It costed my mental health. It cost my reputation with my family, with my work. It costed everything. But you know what I gained? I gained freedom. Freedom. Sweet freedom. I lost my mind in this chase, in this game. And I love it. Because the universe, life, has no rules. Well, there are some. To be the king of your own life, to begin really shaping yourself from the inside out, is you have to make these little promises to yourself. And you have to be able to delay gratification. Like a farmer planting seeds, you are planting the seeds of victory, a spiritual seed of victory in yourself. And you have that vision, you have that thing you want to do, you have a life you want to live, you have somewhere where you want to go, and it's not where you are right now. And then you know what you do? You water that seed every day. And you water that seed every day, and you don't know how long it's going to take to blossom and flourish. You just know I'd rather water this seed than experience the life that is in front of me. And then you go on that path of life. You don't know how long it's going to take. When you have faith in the divine, in the creator, in your own capability, in your own confidence, in your own belief in yourself. And then one day you get there. And you create a world that is in here. And the world outside is radiating outwards. That's a true fucking king. That's a real king. That's a real boss. There is no secret technique. There is no every 3 seconds pause and have a cadence. Not when it comes from the core. If you build yourself up from the inside out, from the core out, you never need these additional little tactics and techniques to make yourself into the man or the woman. Yeah, you can get training, you can get refinement, you can get all these things. Yes, it helps. Lessons, it helps. But it only works when the foundation is there. And that foundation is only built within the void. It is only built within the darkness. Like Bane, I was born in the dark. You were born in the dark. Get used to being in the dark. Get used to the shitty parts of your personality that you know are full of self-sabotage, and you know that you've done all these stupid things in life because you can't quit doing something, or you can't just tell the truth, or you can't just face your fears, and life keeps giving you this level over and over and over again. Your dark side is pulling you back. Things in life are always pulling you back, and it's delaying your confidence, and you want to do something, but you're too scared. All of these things. There's no, hey, just be a king. You need to look at the shit that you brought upon yourself. You need to go and look in the mirror and say, you know what? Man, I have been a fool. And the fool in tarot is the beginning of the journey. Once you acknowledge that you are the fool, you can go out into the world and experience the journey. The Arcana journey. Woo! The tarot journey. Yes? The hero's journey in here.
King of the world, right? When you walk into a room, you're commanding it. When you talk to someone, you're using your voice to make a point, right? You see how I'm pausing. So a lot of people will be like, well, I don't have a naturally deep voice with me, like I don't sound like you. That's fine. Every fucking man can absolutely take voice lessons, can you not? Right? Can you not take voice lessons? It's not even that expensive. You go down to a community college in the States, maybe I don't know what they call it in other countries, junior college, whatever. You can go and literally pay a few bucks and get voice lessons and learn how to speak from here, right? And learn how to use your voice to compel people. Look at all, another thing you can do, which is excellent. This is how I learned how to speak. Watch speeches and watch interviews with Bill Clinton. So fuck the politics, right? Fuck all the politics, should be yours. I don't care about that. Bill Clinton's one of the most charismatic people in the world. And watch how he moves, watch how he speaks, watch how deliberate he is. Bro.
I like this guy. He's cool. He's very well refined. But there's something about his energy that seems off.
Obama, I've actually met, charismatic, but not, I don't think he was like extremely effective with his speech, but he does have a way, he's a cadence and how he speaks and says things. So, when it comes to girls, it's an absolute scientific fact that women are turned on by voice, right?
Oh shit, here we go. Here we flip and go. Let's listen.
Voice. It's just because it's manly, right? It's telling them subconsciously it's high testosterone, therefore you'll be good to breed with and this baby will actually survive. So we're talking to girls, not just
Wait, what did you say?
And this baby will actually survive. So when you're talking to girls,
wait, what did he say?
It's just because it's manly, right? It's telling them subconsciously it's high testosterone, therefore you'll be good to breed with and this baby will actually survive.
It'd be good to breed with. I agree. Other than Mike Tyson's voice, from my understanding, women love a man with a deep voice.
So when you're talking to girls, not just lowering your voice a bit, but slowing it down. So think about this. If you have someone who's nervous around pretty girls, which is natural, you have to work through that. And they're with a pretty girl, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna, right? They're getting the words out. Someone who feels like they're not.
Excuse me. It's June as I'm filming this. You guys may be going through the intense solar flares. I personally experience the shifts very deeply. Detoxing.
I heard, where people don't respect them will speak quickly in order to get it all out before someone interrupts them. It's very fucking true. Someone who's used to being respected or establishing boundaries in the sense of don't cut me off, don't talk over me, don't pause. And what I do, because people will still try to cut you off, especially like in New York, motherfuckers speak quick, that's the way it is. I'll literally pause and be like, I'm not done. And give it a beat.
That's true. Oh, I like that. Hold up. Wait, say that again.
Especially like in New York, motherfuckers speak quick, that's the way it is. I'll literally pause and be like, I'm not done.
I like that. I'm not done. I like that. He is correct about New York. When I went to New York, like, I'm from Seattle, man. I ordered a pizza from some Mexican or Italian dude, likely Italian. And I was like, can I get one cheese pepperoni slice? And he was like, okay, next. I was like, what? And he was like, get out. He was like, get out, bro. This was like 10 years ago when I was super young. I was culture shocked. Same when I went to California, Venice Beach. They don't play around there. Like, they take your order and like in 3 seconds they tell you to get out. And they're like, what are you doing? Why are you still standing in front of me?
And give it a beat, right? Give it a second or two. Because it reestablishes the frame of like, okay, I do need to listen. So you really have to own your space with people when you're speaking, with girls. Slow the voice down. Don't fucking speak super quick. Take your time, because what will happen is the girl's gonna go, wow, this guy, he actually, like when he says something, he means it. He's deliberate with his speech. And that doesn't mean you can't talk quicker or whatnot, because I'm talking faster right now, but I have intention, and I'm punching you with the words, or I'm sending the words to you. I'm not sitting up here, most people go like this, they go, yeah, they throw away the words. Well, you know, I don't know. No, shoot them to you. Where are you going? You know what I mean? Where are you going? I'm shooting the words to you. Where are you going? So get out here. And what happens is, especially a lot of introverts, they're so here. Instead of focusing on the other person, you focus on the other people.
Okay, so this is made for introverts. I personally would quantify myself in the area of introvert. However, I do podcasts and I teach, so you kind of have to get over not wanting to talk to people because you hate everybody equally. If you hate everybody equally, you can talk to everybody the same. Now, oh man, these solar shifts have been intense. Now, did I title this video? The title of this video, Master J reacts to how to be an alpha male and talk to girls. So let's talk about talking to girls, or if you're a woman, how to talk to men, or if you just can't talk to people, how to talk to the opposite sex. But mainly how to talk to girls. In my experience, here's how you talk to girls. If a girl doesn't like you, there's like no point in talking to her. I said it. From my experience, personally, and just from what I see, I mean, if you are a man and you have a decent understanding of the female species, your opposite sex, you understand how confusing they are. I understand this. I'm not trying to talk to a girl who does not clearly like me. And there's a reason why. Because I know this. I have clients that are female. About 80% of my clients, let's just say 800 out of every 1,000 women that I've communicated with in the clientele base, which probably maybe is 3,000 or 4,000 total in the last decade, they only care about the man that they like. Do you understand this? You're trying to learn how to talk to women. Why? Do you not understand the mind of a woman? This is what a woman likes. She likes the man that she likes. And every other man, she kind of doesn't like him, and she sees him for something. This is getting way off topic, but I've worked with thousands of women in the past decade. And let me tell you something. Of all ages. I work with little kids, right? Help them stop crying. And their grandparents bring them to me. And I work with aunties. I work with cousins. My own mother is my client. Some of my aunties work with grandmas. Every single age range I have worked with. Women don't care about men they're not interested in. They care about their family. They care about their kids. Maybe they care about their work if they have a business. And they care about the man in their life. If you are not the man that they see in their life, you are fighting a dangerous game, my friend. When you're trying to seduce a woman, you're trying to get to know her. So, from my understanding, in these videos, when they're teaching you how to talk to women, what they're basically teaching you is, this is how you convince a woman who doesn't actually like you yet, or doesn't really like you, that you are the man for her. And I think that's kind of dumb. Because I understand a woman. A woman is like, when it comes to men, she has a man she likes, and she has all the men that like her. And most of those men are not the men that like her. So if you're not the man she likes, you are a piece of wood to her, pretty much. You're a talking piece of wood who perhaps she can get money or attention or message her friends about and laugh. If you're not that guy where she's saying, I think I just found the man of my dreams. Girl, she's sending pictures to her friends. She's asking, how should I respond to him? How should I message him? How should I text him? What should I do to get his attention? What should I do? She has like one man like that. And the odds of you going up to a woman, convincing her that you are that one man is pretty damn low. Now this is just my perspective. I know there are many guys out there who are extremely horny and just want to have sex with anything that walks. And this is why these types of videos always sell, because vices always sell. Gambling will always be something that exists in humanity because people want things quickly. Sex will always sell, especially for men, because there will always be men who can't get laid but they can get paid, and then they can exchange that for the chance of getting laid higher. These vices are always going to exist in humanity. Drugs probably always going to exist. Gambling is always going to exist. Something like OnlyFans, the only profession in the world that has existed since the beginning of pretty much forever, is always going to exist. Romance novels, all these things are always going to exist. So these things are going to exist, right? But it really depends, right? If you want to live the life of a king or you want to live the life of a dancing jester. Dancing jester, you want to be Loki or you want to be Thor, the Asgardians, right? Are they brothers? Thor and Loki are brothers, right? How did that happen? Someone chime in for me. I've been playing Marvel Snap recently. Loki is broken. Isn't Loki a giant? Loki is a frost giant, right? And his kid is like an octopus. But Thor is like majestic hammer guy. Are they half brothers? They must be half brothers. And Loki is their father? Wait, Loki? Not Loki. The big guy. Odin. Odin is a father, yes. Odin is a free card in Marvel Snap. I've been playing Marvel Snap. I understand my lore of Asgardians now, right? Isn't Thor a member of Guardians of the Galaxy? How the hell does that work? How is Thor on the same team as Rocket Raccoon and Groot? I must be tripping. I think I saw the movie on the plane. Come on, I know you know what I'm talking about. Don't be commenting. This guy's just going off tangent. I know you watch these. So that's my experience with a woman. My best advice I can give: how to be an alpha male, how to use your voice to make the pussy moist, and how to speak to women. But when a woman likes you, you can just say hi to her, and it'll be the best thing in the world for her. Because it's going to be awkward anyways, because her energy is so like little schoolgirl mode. This is just my personal experience, because if you build yourself into the person who warrants these responses from women, is much different. If you build yourself right from the core, as I mentioned, just into a cool human being that people respect and like talking to, it's much better than learning some technique from a dude on the internet. And I'm a dude on the internet teaching techniques. This is the next level of real learning. I'm pointing it back to you. I'm pointing it like it's like trying to put a band-aid on a wound. How about we just fix a wound? And how about we just fix the source from the inside out? Instead of trying to pretend to be a cool guy and speak like a king, how about you just become a king? Oh yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because it takes work. And it's difficult because you got to play League of Legends and Minecraft and you don't have time because you're tired from your job. Welcome to life. Welcome to the real world. Every single person has to deal with what you're dealing with. That's why there are outliers in life. That's why there are kings in life. That's why there are bosses in life. That's why there are guys like this that can teach you about these things and they can get your money from it because they know that life is hard and they know what you want. You know what you want? To use your voice to make the pussy moist. Shall we continue?
If you focus on the other person, if you find something about them that's interesting, then you'll be able to speak to them with intention. So it's very important. So to wrap it up, if you have issues with your voice, if you have a list, right? It's fucking fixable. When I was 6 years old, I couldn't pronounce certain words. Legitimately, I couldn't say oil. Dead serious. I used to say oil. So it was like a joke in my family. Whenever my dad was like working on the car or whatever.
That makes sense. So when he was 6 years old, he was affected by something. 6 years old is an age where a subconscious mind is still forming, right? So that's why I was talking about his energy. Something seems very off. His communication is excellent, but there's something I would say he's about in this video. This is probably old video. It's probably gotten much better since then. He's probably about 70 to 80% of his communicative skills, and this is why.
I couldn't say oil. Dead serious. It's fucking fixable. When I was 6 years old, I could
see 6 years old. That goes all the way back to his childhood. So the root of his motivation for communication is probably from. Let's listen, actually.
Without certain words, legitimately, I couldn't say oil. Dead serious. I used to say oil. So it was like a joke in my family. Whenever my dad was like working on the car or whatever, so I would say, "Is he getting like literally I fucking stutter?" So they took me to like a speech pathologist, and the speech pathologist was like, "Oh, we'll work it out, whatever." You know, so my mom kind of worked with me. So I don't want to hear excuses if I have a list. And the speech pathologist was
there you
like,
go. So this is childhood trauma. That's what it is. And he's worked on something that's very important to him. That stems from his childhood trauma, most likely, and it's very important to him to teach these type of things. So that's why his energy is a little off. But for him, this is being very, very vulnerable in teaching something that he has a deep connection to. For this guy, if he is still at this level, because it's clear to me that he has an unconscious block, he should do some subconscious mind clearing or some hypnosis or maybe some somatic release, some childhood regression, and that would free up his last 20% of about energetic block here. Because I can tell.
Work it out, whatever. You know, so
Can you tell? There are levels that people can reach through willpower and understanding alone. And then there is an aspect where the spiritual part comes into it. So you can hit a level being self-taught or professionally taught, but there's always that little bit where that woo-woo aspect comes in. And I'm just going to say, some of you guys may believe in that. Some of you guys may believe in that a lot. Some of you guys may believe in that a little. But there's always, you can hit about maybe even 80 to 90% of your full potential in something. And then that last 10% that you're going to draw out is always going to be some unorthodox method that will really, really bring you out. So for this guy, what I can immediately see in this 5 to 10 minute video of him speaking, he's already shown me, he's already talked about what his motivation, probably a story behind speaking and why this craft is so important to it, right? Helping guys speak, helping guys become more confident. Because when you're a child, and if he's saying oi oi to his father when he's a kid, maybe the family laughed at him and he took that. We're 6-year-old kids, right? But you have no idea how damaging that can be for someone's psyche. And so see, he's a grown man. He's well-groomed in this video. Very handsome, I think. I don't know. He has a beard and he's wearing a suit, so it makes him look handsome. Like, well put together. That last final block would be in the aspect of regression or unconscious hypnosis. Something of that sort. You can't be these things consciously. This is when the spiritual aspect of things comes into it. And then he would really be able to hit his flow. He would probably be that last 20%, right? Because when you get to the level of like good, and then you get to the level of great, and then you get to the level of boss excellence, it's that final 20%. But that final 20% is what's going to take you from just being like pretty good. So I'm not a voice coach. I'm not whatever. I'm just a dude listening to this. But this guy has met people like President Obama, Trump, whatever.
I couldn't even say oil. That's serious. I just say oil.
And I'm able to see what's wrong with him. I'm not some trained professional, but I can understand the block that is missing just based off of how he's communicating. A guy like that people talk about a lot in their realms of communication, like Andrew Tate. That's a guy who's been hypnotized to communicate at his highest level. This guy, if he was hypnotized, he would reach that level of, it would be more free. There's something blocking him, and that block, you know what that block is? That little block is every time he feels that vulnerability as a child, he has to use that willpower to push past that. And that's because the unconscious mind will always battle the conscious mind. And this is what they talk about in, I believe the book is called Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know a lot of things. The internet is full of many things. They don't always stick to my mind. They don't always stick to my brain. But his self-image is the final thing that he would need to shift. And he would break through into boss level, boss frequency, master level. What do I talk about when I talk about boss level, when I talk about master frequency? It really is just a different domain of existence. And I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I am Master J in this sense. There are certain realms of existence, and there are certain realms of understanding that only really make sense when you actually begin to embody it. Because it's very tough to explain to someone what it would be like when they can unlock their full potential in a craft when they think they have done everything to unlock it. So in the realms of how to be an alpha male and talk to women, it really is about changing your self-image. And as I was saying, if it's better if a woman just likes you, it's much better if a woman just likes you. Because then whatever you say to her, it's going to be funny. And even if it's awkward, it's going to be cute. Because a woman, she experiences things in her emotions. She experiences things in her heart, right? Her emotions and her heart really dictates things. So if she just feels good around you, you can say the stupidest thing. It's very hard to turn off a woman who is just infatuated with you. It's as hard as it is to turn off a woman who's infatuated with you as it is to get a woman who does not like you to like you. They're equal on opposite ends of the spectrum. When you're dealing with women, like the woman that likes you, and your life is going to be so much better. And if there is a woman you like that doesn't like you, you know what that's telling you about yourself? There's something inside yourself that is missing. There's something inside yourself that is self-abusive. You have all this food around you. I'm not going to compare woman to food. You have all these women around you. All of these women are around you. They're beautiful. Because every single human being experiences this. We always have people that like us. And we always have people that we don't like. And then oftentimes we also have people that we do like. And there's just different calibers. If you go outside. If you go outside. If you don't go outside, you might not experience this. I don't know. The kids nowadays, they seem to do this like Discord e-dating thing. It's a real thing. It's best to like the people that like you. And then you don't even have to learn how to talk to them. You can just talk to them naturally without learning a stupid technique. I'm not saying this guy's technique is stupid. It's pretty good, actually. This would take you to about 80% because he has expressed himself at about the full potential of 80%. The final 20% is what I'm giving you here because there's no deeper level of shifting your level of communication by completely shifting your energetic frequency, your unconscious mind, your self-image, and your life. Think about that. What do you think would have more of an effect of your relationship with the opposite sex, of your relationship with how you talk to people? Would it be taking a class to learn how to talk better? Or would it be just shifting your life around to where you are a person who can talk because you are at a certain level in life, right? There are multiple ways to skin a cow, as they say. Are we done?
Okay, so it's like a joke in my family. Whenever my dad was like working on the car or whatever, so I would say, is he getting, like literally I'm fucking stutter. So they took me like a speech pathologist, and the speech pathologist was like, oh, we'll work it out, whatever. You know, so my mom kind of worked with me. So I don't want to hear excuses if I have a lisp or a stutter. You work through it, fucking work through it. A lot of people that stutter, the reason why they stutter, the fact is because they think what they're going to say, people are going to make fun of, right? So it makes them nervous. I've known people that have overcome stutters, lisp, and being gay. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, but deliver it, get a voice coach if you need it. When you're talking to girls, slow the fuck down, own your space, own what you're saying. And here's the deal, if you believe that what you say is super fucking important, other people will too.
Right, lesson 4.
Oh, shit.
I actually want to put lesson 3 and lesson 4 together.
So Tom
G.
G.
The biggest point in the previous lesson, me just saying learn how to fight, because, like I said, this is a no bullshit course. That's the truth. You want the body language of a G, go learn how to fight. You're going to have the body language of a fucking G. Simple. But I actually want to put these two together. Expressing like a G and body language, it all kind of ties in. Like, it doesn't matter what you wear if you haven't got the correct swag. If you do have the right body language, it doesn't really matter what you wear either. It's amazing. We're not females, we're men. So what I'm wearing now, this is a fucking $6 shirt. But I own because I've got fucking, my chest is built to the G, and I wear it how I want. And I walk into a room with my chest out, just like, what, sit down, and everyone's just listening, who the fuck's that guy? It's not an expensive shirt. Now, if I had a Gucci tag, I was walking around all meek and shit, would it make a difference? Really? No. You don't need to spend money on designer clothes. The number one piece of fashion advice I can give you is go to the fucking gym. Get built. You're built, you don't need fashion. That fashion is just a shortcut, that shit. So dressing like a G and body language G are actually extremely linked. Yeah, you do need some expensive clothes. Yeah, you need some loud pieces, etc. But even then, I mean, this shirt is loud. A loud piece is once again down to how you carry it. If you wear a loud shirt and you look uncomfortable, it doesn't work. You got to pull it off. You're attracting attention, just like a peacock. Peacock gets those feathers out. It's like, yeah, look at me. It's exactly the same thing. So the mindset and the body language are actually a lot more important than the clothes you wear. I mean, am I going to tell you how to dress? Not particularly. I think you can.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. He and I have a very similar philosophy, and I've always had that similar philosophy. As much as Andrew Tate has done some questionable things in the past few years, this is his old video, and I do say, before he became ultra rich, he had some really good takes. Now I think, well, actually I don't watch his content really. This video popped up in my feed, so I was sending it to someone, and it's very entertaining. So he is a great speaker. He's a fantastic speaker. His talent in speaking is conviction, and his self-image is 100% aligned with who he wants to be. And it might not even be who he wants to be. He has definitely hypnotized himself to believe that he is the best. And it's definitely got him into a lot of trouble in the past, yes. But his mind is, in one direction, it is tuned to a degree that makes him an outlier. You can tell by the way he speaks, you can tell by the way he carries himself, you can tell by what he does, you can tell by his brain. There has been something to unlock it. It can be coupled with a high IQ, probably a genius level IQ, coupled with, what is that saying? Intelligence and perspicacity. Definitely his father's genes. He may have been hypnotized to a certain degree, and then he may have coupled it with sheer indefatigability and whatever that other word is. He says a lot. Perspicaciousness. Yeah. So that has gotten in.
Out there, find your own sense of style. The most important way of looking at it is how do you feel when you wear those clothes?
In a very dry and no bullshit mindset. So yeah, that is the stark contrast between the two speakers is quite a bit. This video, I don't know why we went here. It's just a compilation and just auto-played. But he's an example of something that I'm talking about in this video. There's no how to, there's just be. You should spend your life being, right? Because when you're being, what you're really doing is you're throwing yourself into the fire of life. Whenever you want to use this like technique or tactic, there's a part of you that isn't fully engaged in life because you're thinking, maybe if I use this trick, maybe if I do this, and then it will work. Personally, I think that's just dumb. Personally, right? Why not just do the thing? And why not just go all the way in? Why not just express yourself to the fullest? Why not give your all to every single thing you do? Experience is the best teacher. Taking action is one of the best teachers. And doing the thing you're afraid of naturally is going to be one of the best teachers. But also just applying yourself 100% is one of the best teachers. There's many shortcuts, there's many books you can read, there's many things you can do, but if there's something that you want to do and there's a person that you want to be, there's always the clear way. There's always a simple answer. You don't need to complicate, you don't need to overanalyze, you just gotta go straight into the fires of life. I think that's what has changed in a lot of the world today. I do believe that not society, but the world as a whole has become so much more safe, and there's so much less pressure on us as human beings to survive. We have an abundance of food, we have abundance of resources, we have an abundance of everything. We have a virtual reality where you can connect with me. You can, right, like pretty much learn anything, anywhere. You can get in contact with anyone, anywhere. Stuff has gotten so much easier. Like, I make a living on the internet. When my parents immigrated to America, when they fled the country on a fucking boat, there was like no internet. There was like do or die. And they had to learn the American language by themselves. And they had to struggle by themselves. And they had to figure out, like, my dad, when he used to work, right, he does landscaping. He had all of these maps of the city of where we were from. If I look at a map today, I can barely read it because we all have these GPS maps. So the world today has become so much softer where we don't really have to apply ourselves, right? I think if you just applied yourself to anything that you did, there would be value to it. Because very little people are actually applying themselves because we don't have to. And that's the flaw of the human being. We take things for granted when we don't have to do it. And we'll only do something when we have to do it. If you can hijack your mind to say, you know what, even if I don't have to wake up, right? That's why fitness and exercise is something that people talk about so much, because you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to apply yourself. You don't have to try hard. You don't have to do many things in life to a degree anymore. Life has been fixed to where most of us in a modern world can exist at around a 6 or 7 out of 10 effort. Even if, like, you go to work, right? You're slowed down by the rest of the mob because there's traffic. And then you go to a job and there's rules. It's slowing you down. Very, 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 very rarely in life do you have the opportunity to give it your all in something more. Give it your all in something anymore. And that is actually where the joy of life of many people, it's a spiritual science. It really is. If you want to be a person that is happy and joyful, I was trained in the medical facility, in a military medical facility for one of my internships and when I was in pre-med school. And I understood why people would always say, I miss the army, I miss the military when I'm out, right? I go back to civilian life and I just miss it, bro. The reason why they miss it is because when you're there, there's always something to do. There's always somebody on your ass and you're always applying yourself to work. That is where the joy of life is. The joy of life is found in the fire of doing and applying yourself. Yes, you'll have to rest sometimes. Yes, you'll have to take a vacation sometimes. Yes, you'll have to let your mind detox sometimes. That is what it is. Sure, no problem. But most of us, we don't need the amount of rest. We don't need the amount of vacation. We don't need the amount of mental health days that we actually think, because we're not even applying ourselves. The reason why a lot of our mental health, the reason why a lot of our anxiety even exists is because we're just not living the life that we actually want. We're not actually doing things that we even enjoy. We're sitting on the internet, we're playing League of Legends, and then we're waking up, going to work. Maybe you don't even go to work anymore. You work remotely, right? You're just kind of living. And just kind of living just kind of makes life worth okay. It's good enough. It's decent and it's okay. And that's what the world has been fixed to. No longer do we have to go out and hunt or defend our tribe and go fight a wild lion and go hunt a boar, right? That's exciting because you go there, you go do something, you get a reward for it. You come back as the best hunter and everyone cheers you on. That life is gone. It's not coming back. So you got to find ways to trick your biology and to trick your mind and to build yourself into the person that God wanted you to be, to bring out your potential. The world does not want you to be your most potent version of yourself, because the world wants you to play by its rules. If you want to break out and you want to be the best version of yourself, you have to totally do something that's never been done before. Meaning you have to go walk a path that is only meant for you, when there are millions of other paths that are meant for you. And it's very tough and it's very challenging, because there's always going to be a path of safety. There's always going to be a path of least resistance. And there's always going to be a safety net that you can fall back on. And sometimes that's good. But sometimes you need to bet 100% on yourself and really apply yourself to your mission and your vision and your hero's journey that is within. That's what's going to make you grow. That's your initiation. Oftentimes, as a man or a woman, you have to self-initiate yourself. Now, we don't have tribes anymore. We don't have mentors very often. If you find a mentor, if you find a tribe, if you find something that you can be a part of, right, to connect you to your inner humanity, you are going on a great spot. You're going on a fantastic spot. We don't have those things nowadays, and now we're all just kind of like robots, right? I remember I talked to one of my friends. Her name's Ireland Clark, a long time ago, and she said something about men that I never ever thought of, but it really put things into perspective. She said most men that I see today, they're like shells of like men, like unblossomed men, and I thought that was very interesting. So, oh, unblossomed men. Do you know what that is? You know exactly what that is. You know exactly what that means. They're just like shells of men, and they're unblossomed men. And the reason why is not their fault. It's the society has made it so the men do not blossom, because you take away the spiritual evolution of the man, spiritual evolution of the man, spiritual evolution of the woman, and we've been replaced with modern technologies. So how would you spiritually evolve as a man? I know I'm going on a tangent, but I guess this solar eclipse, this solar flare in June, and this new moon has really brought out the best in me. How would you spiritually evolve as a man or a woman? Well, you would go through what I would recommend. You should check out the works of Master Yao Yamakate Morris, and you should look into what is called the second puberty. Most people have never finished their second puberty, and that's why you will see what they call the unblossomed man or the unblossomed woman. It is a person who has the outer body of, likely, let's just say a man, a person who has the outer body of a man with the psyche of a child. But not only the psyche of a child, you can tell that their body hasn't filled out yet. That's because a certain part of their DNA isn't activated. A certain part of their DNA isn't activated. A certain part of their energy is not flowing. A certain part, their biology, especially as a man, their testosterone might not be fully activated. This is why you see a lot of guys on TRT. Yes, I know. Now I'm getting into woo-woo science. It is total woo-woo science. Yes, it is. If you had a man who was focused and crushing it and running his own life and doing things the way he wanted and living the life of his dreams, he would be an inner king. And his need for TRT would probably be absent, or probably be not something that he needed. Whereas men nowadays, they hit the middle age and have a need for TRT. And they have around the age of 38 to 40 or even earlier, right? Now, I'm not saying TRT is not effective. What I'm saying is there's some part of men that is missing in their calling today. It is microplastics, laundry detergent. Yeah, that's the reason for your low testosterone. It's not that. It's that you're missing the calling of age of a man and transitioning into your final form, your peak form. That's why you can see some men, right, in other cultures, the older men are actually the strongest, and they're the most feared and respected. But today, men hit around 30 or 40, and they like throw everything away. They become like fat and like, what do they call them? There's a word I can't remember right now. But they like lose everything after they lose that initial power of their 20s. That's because it's the transition into adulthood isn't there. So when that second puberty energy isn't activated, that spiritual energy isn't activated, you get this weird thing of a man that hasn't blossomed yet. Now let's leave this there. We went on quite the tangent. I hope you enjoyed the video. This has been a fantastic